Hi again, Year 8. This is lesson 2 now of week 2 for your Spanish lessons this week. And as before, you need to write down that it's week 2, lesson 2. And then the next slide will give you actually at the very top there your title, Como fuiste. Again, remember the date is showing is the date that I'm recording these. So you need to work out the date that you're doing your lesson and put that at the top of your page, please, and underline it. Okay, so as a starter today, I'd like you please to write, it said write a mini paragraph. It's going to be just a couple of lines really using one of the options from each box. Now this is the sort of thing that we normally use in class as a speaking, because you have to find your way through the various options that this little sentence gives you. We could have normalmente voy a España, or Francia, or Italia de vacaciones, and then so on. If you happen to have a study buddy that you can link up with from class and you want to do some speaking practice, then it would be great to use this. You can share the video and pause it and both have the same screen in front of you, and then you could do it by your phone, actually see how long it takes you to guess the route that your partner has worked out to go through this. If you can't remember how to do this, you write down. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes here where you have different options. So, for example, if I decided that I was going to have España, hace 3 meses, Gales, and so on, the partner I was working with would have to guess those right before they could carry on saying the sentence. And it's a really good way because you won't always get it right. You'll get it wrong. If you get it wrong, you have to go all the way back to the beginning and start again. But it's really good practice for speaking. So as I say, if you've got someone you can work with over the phone, then please have a go at this. That'd be great. But everyone, please, can you write down, only a couple of minutes, this will take you, a sentence, please, saying where you normally go, but last year where you went, how you got there, and what it was like. A couple of minutes, please, to do that. Pause the video and then start it when you're ready. Okay, so you've done that and you've paused me and I stopped as well. I forgot. So moving on, that is just there for you to, if you're my class, then please can you send me a picture of what you've written. Okay, moving on, learning objectives. We saw these yesterday, or we saw this in lesson 1. Vocabulary we're looking at is means of transport. We're doing some writing and we're setting targets. Okay, so here we are doing a listening. Now, a listening file is attached in the Google Classroom that your teacher has put up. You need to use that to do this listening. I don't think it will work here. No, it won't. So you need to go to the listening file that I have in that your teacher's put up in Google Classroom. This is going to take you a good 10 minutes or 10-15 minutes to do, because you need to listen to it. You can stop and pause and re-listen and go back and do it as many times as you like. So it's quite an advantage really, because normally in class you'll only get to hear it maybe a couple of times if your teacher's repeating it. Here, if you're not sure, you can repeat it as many times as you like. You have 5 questions at the top. Tenemos cuándo, dónde, cómo, con quién, y cómo fue. So those are, cuándo is when. So when did they go on holiday? It's going to be a time indicator there, maybe last week, last year, last summer, last winter. Dónde is where. Where did they go? A dónde fueron? Where did they go to? Cómo. How did they get there? Con quién. Who did they go with? Y cómo fue, what was it like? So your last column there is going to be filled with an adjective. Aburrido, fenomenal, genial. Con quién is going to be filled with people. Mis padres, mi familia, mis amigos. Cómo is going to be transport. Un barco, en coche, en avión. Donde is where, so it's going to be a place. It might be a city, it might be a country. And cuándo is the time indicator. All right, if I went a bit quickly there, go back and listen to it again. You've got 4 people speaking. Get as much information as you can, please. Okay, so I'm going to let you pause the video and then move on when you're ready. Okay, so the first one was el verano pasado. So you take the opportunity here to listen to what I'm saying and repeat it. You can spend as much time doing this as you like. So el verano pasado, la summer. ¿A dónde fue? Fue a Madrid. They went to Madrid. ¿Cómo? Fue en tren. ¿Con quién? Con amigos. ¿Y cómo fue? Fue guay. It was cool. Número 2. ¿Cuándo fue? Where did they go? El invierno pasado. Invierno is the winter. You saw that before. So el invierno pasado, last winter. ¿A dónde fue? Fue al sur de España en la montaña. So the south of Spain in the mountains. Fue en avión. Went by plane. Fue con su madre. They went with their mother. ¿Y cómo fue? Fue estupendo. So it's a really good holiday. Número 3, tenemos el año pasado, so last year. ¿A dónde? Fue a Pamplona. ¿Cómo fue? Fue en tren. ¿Con quién? Fue con amigos. ¿Y cómo fue? Fue genial, it was great. Y finalmente tenemos número 4, ¿cuándo fue de vacaciones? Fue el año pasado. ¿Dónde? Fue a Valencia. ¿Cómo? Fue en coche. ¿Con quién? Con su familia, they went with their family. ¿Y cómo fue? Fue muy aburrido. Mis padres son muy aburridos. So their parents said it was boring because their parents are boring. It's a little bit harsh, I think. But anyway, okay, so not a great success, that holiday. Okay, so you have 20 bits of information here. So can you please check, correct in red pen, and give yourself a mark out of 20 to see how you did on that exercise. When you've done that, you can move on. Okay, so now you're doing some reading. I need to move this out of the way. No, I don't want to make it bigger. I want to move it out of the way. Okay, so you have two texts here, dos textos. Uno de Jessica y uno de Isabel. Okay, los dos escriben de sus vacaciones. Los dos is both of them. Los dos escriben de sus vacaciones. Uno fue a Palma de Mallorca y el otro fue a Peru. Okay, so they went on very different holidays. First of all, I'd like you to make a list of the modes of transport that, yes, Jessica and Isabel used during their holidays. So just before you start this, please, can you write down at the top? It should be leer, so it's a reading. And then you can have text analysis. A, it shouldn't be number 1, there shouldn't be number 1. So A is make a list of modes of transport that they use during their holiday. And then B, you need to correct each sentence. So, for example, Jessica fue a Mallorca con su hermano. That isn't right. Okay, Jessica didn't go to Mallorca with her brother. She went to Mallorca with her best friend. And it tells you what her best friend is called. So I'm not going to do any more than that. I want you to work out, please. In order to do this, you need to understand the sentences here on the right-hand side. You need to compare it with the information on the left, and then you need to correct each sentence. So you're going to be writing in Spanish here the answers. Oh, hold on. Now I'm going to correct this as we speak. So I just need to stop clicking on the wrong thing, and I need to do something which I should have done before. So I'm just going to copy that. Okay, so on this one here, we're going to correct the sentences, and you, oh, sorry about this, I keep pressing the wrong one. So number 1, Jessica fue a Mallorca con su hermano. You need to pause this now, do the work, and then I'm going to correct it afterwards. So if you're at the correction bit now, then we will correct it. So she didn't go with her brother. She went with su mejor amiga. That's what you should have for number 1. The Number 2 says, su mejor amiga se llama Maria. Her best friend is called Maria. Well, looking at the second line here, that isn't her best friend's name. Her best friend is Alicia. Número 3. Por la noche fueron al teatro. In the evening, they went to the theatre. And that's not correct either. It says, por las noches fuimos a la discoteca en monopatín. So in the evenings, we went to the disco by skateboard. So they didn't go to the theatre, they went to the disco. Now you've got al teatro, because teatro is masculine. So it's a plus l makes al, remember. We need to change that because it's going to be a la, followed by something feminine, which is discoteca. So we're going to take that one away. Okay, number 4. Palma está en las montañas. Is that true or not? It says here on the second line, Palma, la capital, está en la costa. So it's not in the mountains. So that doesn't mean to be plural anymore. It should be en la costa. Okay. Moving on to Isabel here. We've got Isabel fue a Lima en avión. It says she went to Lima by plane. If you read the text carefully, she didn't. She went by boat. So fui en barco. So we need to change avión to barco. Cuzco es la capital de los aztecas. Cuzco is the capital of the Aztecs. Is that true? Well, it's not true. We know it isn't. You're correcting all of these. So here it says Cuzco es la capital del Imperio Inca. So it's the capital of the Inca Empire. So we need to get rid of los and put el. And then we've got Imperio. It's Inca. So there we change that. And the last one, Machu Picchu es feo y aburrido. I don't think anyone would say that about Machu Picchu. Certainly not, because that's saying it's ugly and boring. And it's certainly not. It is, in fact, tranquilo, which I've misspelled. Tranquilo y precioso. So that means we've changed it from ugly and boring to tranquil and beautiful. Okay, so that's what you should have got for your exercise B. For exercise A, the modes of transport they used, we had, first of all, plane. Fuimos a la playa a pie. So you should have got on foot. So plane, foot. Por las noches fuimos a la discoteca en monopatín, skateboard. So plane, foot, skateboard for the first one. For the second one, en barco, by boat, en autocar, by coach, en bicicleta, by bike. And that's what I mentioned yesterday, a caballo, on horseback. En tren, by train. And a pie is the last one there, on foot. Okay, so boat, coach, bike, horse, train, and on foot should be the modes of transport that they used. So well done if you've got all of those. I seem to have, what have I done? Okay, I seem to have lost a slide, but it was this one here that I'm going to go back to say once you have done that today, what we've done is look at a starter activity. We've done the listening. Sorry, yes, we've done the writing to start off with. We've now done a listening, and you finished up with a reading and some correcting there. So well done. That takes us to the end of lesson 2, and here we are looking at the objectives again, which you will see again tomorrow in lesson lesson 3, when we will, not tomorrow, but when you have lesson 3, when we'll be setting some targets on how to improve. Thank you very much indeed again, Year 8, for your hard work. I'm trying to stop the video here, but it won't let me for some weird reason. Okay, thank you very much indeed.